All right, welcome, Kofsky's Mortgages and Hoagies, episode 11. Again, I have a very special guest for you today. She stands 5'3" tall. She posts a professional record of 5 wins, 0 losses. Jaclyne, the assassin, McTamney. Welcome to Kofsky's Mortgages and Hoagies.
What's going on?
No, what's happening? So I got to see a few clips of the last fight. I didn't get to see the whole thing. The first question that's burning that I got to ask you is, how do you pick your walkout song? I think you came out to Tupac. Like, you come out to the same one every time? Is this like, do you switch it up? Like, let's get down to the important stuff here.
I switch it up, like, depending on the vibes I'm feeling during that fight camp and how I'm feeling. So I don't know. I felt like Tupac was it this time.
Yeah, I saw the clip. Someone posted it, and I was like, oh, she's walking out the park. I got all hyped while I was watching it. But I wasn't sure. The first, when we're kids and like we're thinking of, like competing in sports, or when you're actually competing in sports, you're always thinking about, songs that you're picturing yourself walk out to these songs, right?
Yeah,
Even me, who's never boxed a day in my life, I have a short list of songs that I know I'd walk out to, like if I would. So
I'd
are
like to
these?
hear those.
Well, most of the list would be DMX for sure. I'm definitely
Yeah,
an
that's a
X
good one.
guy. One More Road to Cross, DMX. What's My Name, DMX. The Rain, if I'm feeling a little, darker and calmer on the walk, for sure. But, it's definitely a lot of DMX, a lot of Pac on that. Maybe Heavy Metal Kings, Jedi Mind, and Ill Bill in there
There
somewhere.
we go.
But so not to spoil the next one you're going to walk out to. What are some of the other songs that you've walked out to?
Um, I mean, my first fight, I walked out to Meek. The second fight, what was that one? I don't even remember that one, but my one before this one was a Lil Wayne song. Um, Yeah, so I don't know. It just is like sometimes you'll be just listening to songs in the car and you'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna walk out to this one for my next fight, and then it just stays with me. So
I love that. Yeah, I've been in the gym recently, and DMX has been on the playlist nonstop.
hmm
I feel like I get that extra 10% when he's
yes,
on the playlist.
for sure.
Let's go all the way back to the beginning. I know that your dad's in great shape. I'm not sure if he used to box or where the inspiration came from, but where did the love for boxing all stem from?
So it was actually from my mom. So she did a little kickboxing and then she was always in the gym and everything and then she ended up running like 3 different gyms. And I started working with her there. So the one night it was like not that busy, and this guy, Bryant Brandon, came in. He was from Trenton. He used to be a professional boxer. So he was teaching a class, and I was like so bored. My mom was like, "Why don't you go take a class?" So I was like, "What class is it?" She was like, "Boxing." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." Like, and then she was like, "Just go take it." So I went and took it, and I like fell in love with it, and then I ended up finding a boxing gym and just started competing a little bit after, and that's it. The rest is history. I was like 15, so
Okay, I was gonna ask how old you were. Okay, so this is while you're in high school. Obviously, when you start, you're doing like more fitness stuff. You're learning like, the simple things, the different punches, etc. Before you're actually getting into the real physical contact.
mhm.
When's the first time that you hopped in the ring and got punched in the face and were like, okay, this is real?
I honestly, so the first gym I went to, it was with this guy Pedro Rivera at 10th round, and I don't even think he like eased me into it. Like there was like there
Just
was
knocked
some
you in the face.
no, like there were some good fighters in there, like all the like Milton Santiago was there, um Hank Lundy, and he actually had me go in. And then there was this other girl, Sacred Downing. She was a great fighter, and he just put me in there. And the one time I remember he said to me, "If you can hit Secret, I don't know." He was like, "I bet you can't," or whatever. So I went in there and I was just trying to hit her. Like she was quick, and I was like, "Damn, all right, like I got a lot to work on." And he would just put me in there like with these like the guys, everyone. Like we really didn't take it easy, but like yeah, obviously I had to learn. But I think you learn the most like when you're put in situations like that.
Yeah.
So that he I don't yeah, I don't think he really took it easy. We just kind of started off like training.
I'm going to jump a little bit around here on the timeline. One of the things that when I was prepping for the show is that I'm thinking, I'm like, what, like, is Kingston old enough to know like that, like what you do and everything? Or sometimes you walk in and like after a fight, is he like, why does my mom's face look like this?
So yeah, he's been in the gym since he was like 3 months old or maybe even younger. So he's so used to it, and
Gotcha.
like if I have a black eye or something, he's like, "Oh, you got that from boxing." Like it's just normal to him now. So
Yeah, yeah. I was
yeah.
picturing how different that might be. I'm like, that might go one of two ways. He might be a little confused, or it might just be everyday stuff to him. So
Yeah,
that's really interesting. Even though I know you, I had to obviously read up on some of this. I haven't been there for many of these steps, but I try to reach out, every time you're fighting before and after. I've got to obviously send you a lot of congratulations, good win text, which is always good, always checking up on you.
appreciate
Um,
that.
from what I read up, your amateur career was not as, I guess, smooth as what the intro to your professional has been. You want to tell some of the stories, I guess, that have helped shape you as a boxer, from some of the ups and downs of that.
Yeah, so it was really hard, honestly, getting fights like back then. I know it doesn't it is kind of long ago, like, and women's boxing has definitely progressed in the past like couple years. But even like every year I would sign up for the Golden Gloves, and I might have had not one fight until states, or like there was no girls around. So I remember I kept winning the Golden Gloves, and I ended up writing a letter to like the president of Golden Gloves, and I was like, "Hey, like all the guys, they win and they end up going to nationals, but you don't take the girls with you if we win. We train just as hard as them." So I was trying to like advocate for back then like girls boxing,
Yeah,
and then we would go to fights and the girls just wouldn't show up. Stuff like that would happen all the time. Like I remember my parents would bring me, we would be going to like New York, Jersey, and anywhere like around where we could drive, and we would go there, weigh in, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, the girl didn't show up." And like the day when you fight in like a show, you can't like you weigh in the day of, like a couple hours before the fight. So like there was
yeah,
nothing we could do. So it was just like constantly happening. So then finally I ended up going to nationals without many fights because I really couldn't get them around here. So I was like, if I want to take this seriously and get more experience, I have to go to nationals. So I just started going out there, and then eventually I got experience fighting different types of fighters, and then I won two silver medals. The one I broke my hand in the champion, like right before the championship fight, so I couldn't end up fighting in the championship. So I took home the silver medal, but I won first in another tournament. So after that, I was like, all right, I think like I got the experience I needed, and then ended up turning pro. So and it was hard because like I didn't have, I was working as a kid basically, and trying to pay my way to go to these national tournaments, which you have to get hotels, flights, cars when you get out there. Like it was like thousands of dollars to go to each
right.
tournament. So it was definitely a lot, but I'm happy that I did it. It was worth it, to get the experience and lead me to where I'm at now. So
As you said, you're not making a ton of money from the boxing thing, especially early on. Um, when you're an RN, I mean, you break your hand in a boxing fight. What's that conversation like with your boss, the next day?
so thank God they know, and I've been there for a while because I go in there with black eyes, and go in my patients' rooms, and they're all looking at me, and everyone I work with, they know, so they're like, "Oh, another fight or sparring or whatever." So but yeah, like I did break my hand in the fight, so I had to tell them, and I was out for like 6 weeks. But I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. They are good with it, and I guess anyone could break anything any day doing other things. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I put myself more at risk, but I try to be safe.
I know you went to LaSalle, and then it said that you worked at Temple University Hospital. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. My first job out of high school when I was in college, because I went to Temple, was at Temple University Hospital.
Oh,
I
nice.
worked for the fire marshal.
Oh, that's cool.
at Temple University Hospital. I remember two things. Like, my job was like to check the fire extinguishers. So like if you ever see like the college kids that come around and they have to initial like the fire
Yeah,
extinguishers, but it's not just the hospital. It's like the med buildings and the pharmacy building. They have like a dozen buildings or more there over there on the med campus.
yeah,
And some of them are not like fully occupied, and walking around like half abandoned buildings in North Philly is not always the most comfortable thing.
yeah.
I got two things I remember from that is one, the first day I got to the morgue in the new med school,
Mhm.
because my credentials got me everywhere, right? Because I
Yeah,
you work for the fire marshal, you get to go and everywhere.
yeah. Where you
So
want?
like I get to like the fourth floor, I think it was, and like scan my badge. Like these doors open. There's like 100 cadavers laid out, like in the
My
in
God.
the yeah this huge room, and like I'm not one to like puke, but even just thinking about it right now, like there's like body parts in jars next to like the cadavers. It
No,
was just disgusting.
that's crazy.
And I was like 18 and not expecting it, so you
Yeah.
can imagine. And then the other thing was the office was at like 15 or no, I want to say maybe 13th and Tioga. I'm like the scanner's on, like the radio scanner. I'm like
Mhm.
sitting there in the office, like doing like some of my homework, like sneaking some things in. And they're like, like live shots, 12th and Tioga, like right over the
Always.
thing. And I like look out the window and I'm looking at the 13th and Tioga street
Mhm.
sign. And I'm like, no, thanks. So you interned there?
Yeah, I was yeah, so while I was in school, I was like a nurse extern there, and then the crazy thing is the first day I went to work there too, they had me on like the trauma unit. So I walked down to they were like, "Oh, go take everyone's vital signs." I go to take this dude's blood pressure and he was dead in the room. So that's how I started off there.
Oh
And I
no.
was like, "Yo, this is crazy." Like that yeah, that place was crazy.
Yeah, I would try to like get out before the sun went down so I could stop at Max's and then hop on the subway back to main campus because it got
Yeah,
a little sketch after that.
it did.
But oh man, so you leave Temple Hospital. Where do you go from there?
So from there, so while I was in school, I think the first 2 years or 3 years, I couldn't have my car on campus, and I used to take I used to walk up to Broad Colony. I can't believe I even did this with all my boxing stuff, and I take the subway back and forth to the gym because I didn't have a car, and I was like, and I used to skip study hours and everything. I used to get in trouble for it. So but then after that, so I graduated. I worked I had a job up in like Quakertown for a year, and then I've been at Capital Health for like 11 years now. So
Very nice.
hmm
That's in Jersey.
yeah, yeah, working in maternity. So I work in like newborn nursery, postpartum and NICU.
Okay, very
hmm
cool. I'm sure there's a lot of rewarding stuff there that you do there, especially
Yeah,
being a mom.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Um, Tell us a little bit more about that. In our masterminds and in my meetings here as
hmm
salespeople, we always talk about our wins for the week. You got yourself a big win for the week from work that you can share with us.
A win from work. So I feel like just making sure all the babies are come safe, like they come out. It's our responsibility to make sure that they're breathing, they're good. So, it's good to see like all the families happy and you know f- start their life with their kids. So it's definitely rewarding.
It must go from like stressful to relief, pretty
Yes,
quickly there during their experience there.
definitely can. Yes.
I was thinking about not just in prepping for today, but just whenever I see you, I'm always kind of thinking like, how do you balance this, right? That it's definitely a question of mine. Like, how do you balance nursing, boxing, and being a mom? Like, how do you fit this all into a week? Like, is your schedule like nailed down to the T? Tell me a little bit about what a normal week looks like.
Oh man, so yeah, it's definitely a lot, but I work overnight, so that helps because if I can't sleep, I can't sleep sometimes. Like I just keep going. And I know eventually it's gonna like it's not good for me, but if I'm trying to reach my goals and you only have one shot, like you only have one chance to try to get to where you want to get to. And like you said, you don't make money in boxing in the beginning, so
Yeah.
I'm just working, trying to chase my dreams, and if you want it that bad, you'll do whatever you have to do to get there. So,
I love
um,
that.
yeah, that's it.
Um, so women's boxing has been coming a long way, and you struggled, I guess, in the past of people not showing up. How do these fights get put together? Walk us through a little bit of that. I know we were talking. Where'd you go? Can you see me?
Yeah, something happened. I had a phone call come through, and it got paused. Let me put it on do not disturb.
All good.
There you go.
I can edit
Um,
this part out. It's not a big deal.
okay.
I was like mid show once, and um I forgot to put mine on do not disturb, and then
Uh,
it like malfunctioned, and I couldn't like get it back on the work, and it was just a whole mess.
yeah, it started
Yeah,
recording again,
it,
so I don't know what happened, but
yeah, it's not always super smooth. Just to like tell you a story about yesterday, I did my first in person one in a long time,
mhm.
and we went for an hour and 50 minutes.
Oh wow.
And when we wrapped up, my phone ran out of storage 9.5 minutes in.
No.
And I had the first 9.5 minutes and nothing else. And we like rocked the show almost
Oh
two
my
hours. I was
god.
so embarrassed. Luckily, it was one of my coworkers who also owns like a title company. And it
Yeah.
wasn't like a huge client or something that I like
Oh my
spent two
god.
hours with. But I went home last night and like put together checklists like, this is what I got to do before the show. This is what I have to do after the show.
Yeah, you're
I
learning on the job.
I said grade A host, grade D producer, right? But I took like everything off my phone and put it onto like Dropbox, and then wiped like 150 gigabytes of stuff off my
Oh
phone,
wow.
like 18,000 plus items I took off my phone
Wow.
last night.
That must feel good though.
The level of comfort, like mentally, I feel like my phone's working faster. Who really knows if it is or it isn't?
Yeah.
Um, but all good. Just some of the mistakes learning, on the job here. And then I had I don't know if you got to see any of the other episodes. I had Wendy Thomas, our former state representative. She was on 2 episodes ago, episode 8, or so 3 episodes ago now. And that was like the first example of like adversity on these things
Yeah.
where like the app started malfunctioning and we were having a delay. So like the delay was going from like 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds. And like I have to say, like she was a total pro, like we were like adapting to the delay really good. And then when I edited it, it just came all together.
Yeah.
But like the whole time that I'm talking on the podcast, I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, this is like going to be terrible. What am I going to do with this? So it's like there's this whole other aspect off the camera that I'm really learning about.
Yeah.
So it's been fun.
I'd like to
So,
watch them though. I just don't know where to watch them at.
mortgagesandhoagies.com.
Alright, I'm gonna check it out.
It'll take you right to my YouTube page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just go, it'll forward you right there. You'll be able to see, and which I'm very proud of, that when you go from episode 1, episode 5, episode 9, like you can tell that I'm getting better at
Better at
pushing
it.
the conversation
That's
and
sick.
making a good product. I'm really proud of how far the show's come in the first 10 episodes leading up to this one. It really makes you feel good when you put them side by side.
I can get you like if you want any other like boxing people and stuff, I could get you some people that would be definitely go on there and like big people. That'd be cool.
So yeah, for sure. That's usually, since you brought it up now, I'll address it now. But my boss said to me, he's like, "Look, I have a decent list of people that I know that I'm reaching out to that I'm getting on the show." But
Hmm.
he's like, you should ask, instead of just having people he's like, you should ask every single guest at the end of the show before we wrap up, who's one person that you would like to see on
Yeah.
Kofsky's Mortgages and Hoagies, and then
Yeah.
just meet random people that way. So,
Yeah.
so I'll give you to the end of the show to think about an idea, but
Alright.
I am going to ask you on camera for one recommendation to get on the show.
Okay.
So, for someone like me who's not involved in the boxing world,
Hmm.
we have a general clue of how you get matched up with an opponent. I'm sure there's some kind of system, but especially when you're talking about the women's division, where I guess there's not as many fighters.
Mhm.
It's not as routine, I guess, in history as the men's division. What's the process like getting it? You said that they weren't showing up for certain fights. How do these things get booked?
So I think like in the amateurs it's different because they're it's USA boxing. They're you have to get like sanctioned by them to have a fight, but like no one's getting paid for it. Like you don't have if you don't show up, like there's nothing's gonna happen to you. So like people might just be like, oh, like I don't even feel like going or whatever the case may be. But
There's
um,
not a time where it's a forfeit at that point.
so like in nationals, that's why I started going there because you have to fight. Like they make brackets, and like if you don't fight, you automatically lose. So like, but like at a regular show, like it's not like that, or at least it wasn't when I was fighting. So like at
Yeah, that's
nationals,
crazy
you
because you
weigh
go
it.
through the whole camp.
Hmm.
Not to jump around too much on you, but you go through the whole camp. You're training, you're planning for a specific person. You're ready to go. You show up. They don't show up. That needs to reflect on the
Yeah.
scorecard. No, I mean
Yeah, like
that's
definitely in the pros, like that stuff doesn't happen, like or at least definitely not as much. So, um, it's it's a whole different game, and it's like just more, I guess, organized, and like people were showing up. You want to get paid, you want to get another win on your record. Like this is why people are doing it as a profession. So in the amateurs, it's different, but yeah, that's why I had to like make that move and just start going to these national tournaments and everything. So I was working a lot to get to them, like just like I had like three different jobs, like anything I could do just to get out there and get that experience and get some fights. Like that's what I had to do. So
so. Are these promotions reaching out to you because they know that you fight, or are these? Do you need to apply or sign up or get on a certain list? Like, how does that work?
so when you're in the boxing world's very small, so like people know that you fight. And Um, I have a lot of people that come out to my fights to support me. I have a big family, like my coworkers come out, friends, stuff like that. So if you have a lot of people coming out, getting tickets and everything, and people want you to fight on their cards, so they'll that's how that really works. They'll reach out and just be like, hey, I'm having a show this date. Do you want to fight? And then you go from there. They get their matchmakers to get some opponents and stuff like that. So
Gotcha.
mm,
So 5-0, obviously starting the pro record off on a good streak here. Where do you go from here? I think that you told me right before we started recording that you did find out your next fight today, right before the show, which is very
yeah.
exciting. Tell us a little bit about what's coming out. Let's break the news here on the show here. Kofsky's Mortgages and Hoagies exclusive from Jaclyne McTamney.
So October 16th at 2300 Arena in South Philly, I'm gonna be fighting, and it's on Blue Corner Promotions. It's the same card that I fought on last time. Um, So yeah, they're good people. They're actually family, so it's cool. And we have a lot of Irish fans that come out and everything, so it's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was a good experience. My last fight with them. So
Who are you going to be fighting?
we don't know that part yet. So we
Okay.
just got the date. We'll
So
start
you know the
working on
date.
some opponents, and then yeah, then go from there.
All right, so you got the date. Now you have your timeline on
Mhm.
when you have to prep for this fight. Once you get to a certain level and there's camera angles everywhere, obviously you can plan for an opponent as far as watching film and knowing what their tendencies are. Like, what does your camp go into as far as training for a specific opponent? Is there times where you're able to get your hands on tape to watch to study them? Are you looking them up, learning about them? Like, walk us through that mental part of it.
Yeah, most of my opponents so far have had tape. So, me and my team, we just sit down, watch some of their tape, and you kind of work on a game plan. Like you need to know if they're southpaw or orthodox, like how you're gonna. That's number one, and then after that, you just work on a game plan of what you think their flaws are, what you can work on. Like my last opponent, um, we saw that she kept dropping her left hand, so we just kept throwing that overhand right the whole time, and I dropped her three times. So it's hard. Another thing for women's boxing, like it's only 2-minute rounds. So like by the time you drop somebody and then they get back up, and then it's like you're rushing to try to drop them again. So like
Yeah,
that's something I've been working on too. Like I gotta you have to pace the 2 minutes and like figure it out like how to make the 2 minutes work. Because in the amateurs, like girls fight 3-minute rounds. So this 2-minute thing is like, I'm just getting used to it. So it's a
yeah.
little bit, you don't have as much time to to just sit there and relax. But as you fight more rounds, like I just fought my first 6 rounder and it was way better. Like you have more time. You're not going in there rushing and everything. So I definitely, the more rounds the better, I think.
Absolutely. I saw. I think I don't know if it was you or somebody else that posted it about representing the city and not letting someone come in the 2300 arena and push you around. Is there a big sense of the city pride when you go to some of these fights?
But yeah, for sure. Like the last fight, I know the girl, like MVP had her as an opponent for all their girls, and they were like kept saying, oh, like she's a step up fight and all this stuff, and then she was kind of talking trash a little bit, like, oh yeah, like she thinks I'm gonna be a stepping stone for her, like I'm not coming in here for that, like she's gonna see blah 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 all this stuff. So we were in the fight, and sometimes you block out a lot of things during the fight, like you're just focused on your opponent, you're trying to listen to your corner. But we fought at the Fillmore. The whole place was chanting my name, and it was just like hype me up, and I was like, all right, let's go. Like, so it was pretty cool. Like it's always good to fight in your hometown, and have everyone there supporting you.
Yeah, I think last time I was at the Fillmore, it was either for Snoop Dogg or Big Sean. I don't remember, but both were great times though.
Hmm.
So you're in the ring, you're focused, you got tunnel vision, you're listening to the corner. Are you saying anything to her while you're in there?
Oh, no. No, I didn't say anything. I mean, if someone were to like, I was just, focusing on what I was doing, but no, nothing was said in that fight.
Oh man, growing up playing hockey, definitely it's a big part of the game. Is
Yeah,
definitely the
the
verbal
trash.
aspect of it. Yeah,
Hmm.
the trash talk, getting in their head, especially because you can lay your hands and shoulders on people
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
The same way. So you definitely have some physical repercussions if you're talking out of line. There's been a few fights my brother's been in, especially in the post game handshake line. I'll have to pull up the videos. I have them
Yeah,
somewhere, playing for South and that stuff going down. So
that's funny.
definitely have to get my hands on those. Um, so October 16th, 2300 arena. That is going to be the next fight. Um, let's talk a little birds while I have you here. I know you and the fam are always going down to the games. Big
Yeah.
Eagles fan. What are you thinking this year? Are you feeling optimistic? What's Jaclyne the Assassin's take on the Eagles this year?
I always feel optimistic about the Eagles, and until I don't, but
Until the
I'm
first drive.
yeah, so I don't know. I think it was a good move, honestly, that we got rid of AJ. I was upset about it at first, but I don't know. It seems like he has problems with his team and everything, so I guess that was a
Yeah, a
good
little
move.
addition by subtraction.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you can't have problems with the team or it doesn't work. So
Does King
um
have an AJ jersey or no?
no.
All
Nope.
right, all right. I was gonna say sometimes, like as a kid, like I think back to like when I had my TO jersey when he came and he was only there for a couple years, and then I was like devastated that he left.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not sad to see AJ gone. We got what we needed from him for the few
Hmm.
years, but yeah, I mean, wide receivers to get to that level, you got to be diva to a certain extent.
Yeah. True.
Um, you have any plans to go to any games this year? Have you guys checked out the schedule yet?
Um, I definitely want to get to a game. I just don't know which one yet. We try to go to like one away game every year. So like past couple of years, we went to Arizona, Tampa, and and Buffalo. But Tampa it was like 104 degrees. Buffalo it was like -4 degrees. So like I don't know. I got to pick a better away schedule.
Yeah, I think like in 2019, I went to like 5 away games.
Mhm.
Um, I went to Lambeau. Now some of them were easy, right? Like um, I went to Tampa, and it's only a few hours from where my dad, lives at the time, lives now.
Mhm.
Um, and I think Atlanta, and then Lambeau. At Lambeau, we played them week 4 on Thursday Night Football. And I was like, okay, Lambeau in September, this is the year to go, right? You go
Yeah.
there where it's like fall weather, it's not,
Yeah.
negative. So we went out to Lambeau. And then I remember I'm in the hotel in Milwaukee with one of my boys, and we're on our phones watching like Bills fans jump through tables. And we saw that the Eagles were there. This is 2019, would have been Wentz and Allen's second year.
Uh-huh.
We're watching Bills fans jump through tables, and we're like, should we go? And right there at the hotel in Milwaukee, we booked our trip to Buffalo,
Buffalo. Wow.
and went up. And then I me and Amber went to the Giants game to end the season that year in New
Oh,
York. That was,
nice.
yeah, we were talking a lot of shit.
Where are you
So
going this year? Are you going to some?
I haven't really see. I owe my dad a trip to Dallas. Neither
Okay.
of us have been to Dallas, and we were supposed to go the COVID year.
Yeah.
And he'll still say to me jokingly, but he'll be like, "You still owe me a trip to Dallas, right?" So, I definitely need to make good on that. I actually have, speaking of the family, I have a Disney weekend this weekend. Good memories
Oh,
coming up
yeah.
from when we were there. I think, how long ago was that already? Was that like 3 years ago already?
I think it was.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
When we were there. And so this is going to be the first weekend where my dad got engaged a few weeks ago. And this
Oh,
is going to be the first weekend that we all, both sides of the family, spend more than like a dinner together.
yeah.
So, even though I'm only 40 minutes away now, I'm gonna go drive over to the timeshare and stay down there with everyone. And yeah, so my brother, sister-in-law, nephew, my dad, my soon-to-be stepmom, her 2 daughters, and their 2 boyfriends, and their dads coming as well. In
Oh,
a very
that's
situation where
nice.
everyone's friends. So,
Yeah.
really, really excited for this weekend.
That's so much
Um,
fun.
yeah, yeah. So we're excited for that. How is everyone? How's Joe? How's Brooke?
But everyone's doing good. Yeah, same old around here. Everyone's doing good, so that's good.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good to hear it. And of course, part of the show, before we get who your recommendation is to get on the show, I'm going to need, and I know you don't do a lot of this during camp, but I'm going to need Jaclyne the Assassin's top 5 cheesesteaks list. You're going to have to give the rundown. It's just a part
Oh
of the
man.
hoagie bit of this show. So, if you saw an episode, you would have known to come prepared. If not, we're going to put you on the spot here a little bit.
Oh man. This is a hard one. I'm bad at this.
If you
I
just want
actually
to, you don't have to do 5 if it's going to be, difficult. But and we know people get very passionate about this, so always
yeah.
like to extend the list if we can.
So wait, what's that one called? Skinny Joey's or something?
Skinny Joey's down in South
Yeah.
Philly, yeah.
So I tried that one, like I think like maybe in April,
Okay,
and it I got like the long hots on it and stuff. It was pretty
okay,
good. I would give it like a B.
okay,
But I did have this cheesesteak in it was in where it was in Philly, but like in like more northeast Philly, and I have to remember the name of it because I think it was like actually the best cheesesteak I've ever had. I gotta get you the name because
all
I
right.
just tried it.
It's that good. You don't know the name?
I don't, and it was they have like good pizza. Oh my god, hold on,
Where?
I can't find it, but it was actually you know what the best cheesesteak is that I've had though? Angelo's. I have to say Angelo's
All
is
right,
my
Angelo's has
favorite.
shown up on every list.
Really? All right,
And so is
yeah,
Skinny Joey's in different spots. So all right,
yeah.
so Angelo's, Skinny Joey's, we're gonna have to give them a big shout out here. Maybe we'll make a little graphic. They showed up on all 4
Oh wow.
cheesesteak list, both of them. So
It's their
um,
bread. The
yeah,
bread they
it's
have it on.
always the bread. Oh, I miss the cheesesteak so much. We do not have it. I mean, if you watch the episodes, you're gonna hear on pretty much every episode when we get to this point me
Oh.
whining and crying about how there's no good cheesesteaks down here in Florida and how much I miss home. Um, so, I think we touched everything on boxing, went back to the last fight. We got the new fight coming up, went a little bit on the journey. Is there anything else that you want the world to know about the assassin?
The world to know. I don't know. The only thing is one of the things with boxing is since my mom got me started, she passed away, so I always keep her on my trunks and everything and keep her with me and make sure that I get to where we planned on going.
That's awesome. I was fortunate enough to meet your mom a couple times. Very, very good experiences. Very nice lady. When you say she's on the trunks, is it the name? You have her name on
Mhm.
the trunks? Okay, and that's just written out on there. That's awesome. I didn't know that she was the one that inspired the whole thing. So that was awesome to find out. And no, you don't have to apologize at all. I was when you said it earlier in the show, I was definitely trying to tiptoe around it because I didn't want to
No,
want
no,
to
it's
put you on the
okay.
spot. So,
It's all right.
but I think that's awesome that you keep her close to you. And 5-0, I'm sure that she'd be really, really proud of you. We're gonna leave you with asking, who do I have to get on the show next?
For women's boxing, definitely you got to get Brooke Mullen on there. She's 4-0 I think now. So she I think she fights at 140. So
Okay,
she has a fight coming up September 4th. She'd definitely be good to have on there. And then I would say for the if you wanted to also interview a guy, I would say you got to interview Boots. So hopefully, that'd be cool. So he's, one of the best boxers in the world right now. So that'd
yeah.
be cool to have him on here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're definitely going to reach out to them, try to get them on the show. Jaclyne, stay on after we wrap this up. We'll chat for a little bit, but I appreciate you coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, October 16th, Jaclyne the Assassin, McTamney,
6-0.
2300 Arena. She's going to be 6-0. Look out for her. You'll never know what she's walking out to this time. That's a wrap on Kofsky's Mortgages and Hoagies. Thank you.
All right, thank you.